Friends, I just wanted to talk to us a little bit this afternoon about community and how we create community, because the need to create structure, a structure of belonging, grows out of the isolated nature of our lives, of our institutions, of our communities. And the Lord calls us to life in community, a common life and community called the church. 1 Corinthians 1:10, Paul says, I have a serious concern to bring up with you, my friends. Using the authority of Jesus, our Master, I'll put it as urgently as I can. As urgently as you can. Now listen to what he says. You must get along with each other. You must learn to be considerate of one another, cultivating a life in common. Cultivating a life in common. That's what the church is about. That's what we're called to. But our world is organized around certain principles and certain things that are marketed as if they produce community. But the effects, in fact, are quite the opposite. Here's a few. Convenience. In the early days, I remember we were promised leisure time and time off by the invention of the dishwasher, the tumble dryer, the electric gate, the washing machine, our own telephone line. Now we shop online. We have gourmet meals delivered to our homes. We speak into devices that save our shopping lists, and then we get to order online on like Checker 6060, and our groceries are delivered to our home. We have Takealot that you can order everything. It's so convenient. You can order almost anything to your home. And now I believe that Amazon is coming to South Africa, so even more so. We have more options to shop online. But convenience, friends, does not create community. The other thing that we told is that speed can help with this, create community, because if you do things faster, you'll have more time to hang out. Okay, but speed in itself has become such a value, and the world says that faster is better. I mean, waiting on hold on a phone has become kind of like this thing that just grinds us all, and we get these automated responses called bots, or I don't know, whatever they call them. In fact, in the world of commerce, we're reaching a point where we'd rather talk to an intelligent machine than to a human being. But we seem more pressed for time than ever before, and we value these virtual things more than anything else. And let me say this, speed doesn't create community either. Then there's this thing of electronic connections. And we've got text, email, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and so many more where we can share our lives and our images and information. It's easy, it's entertaining. And these things promise to give us more time and increased productivity. The networks are sold as this connected world. Yet there's a question of whether any of these things produce a sense of community and belonging. Personally, friends, I believe they actually increase our isolation and produce less well-being in our lives and create more stress in our lives. Yes, these developments provide content, diverse information, and a range of opinions, and can be helpful tools, but they do not create a connection form, a place of connection where we can experience community, where we're emotionally, spiritually, psychologically cared for, and in turn we can care for others. That place where we are spiritually, psychologically, emotionally cared for and can care for others, you know what we call that as Christians? We call that the church. Building community comes through building better relationships, through connecting with one another. And it starts without an agenda. We can't build community at a conference or at a meeting or things with agendas. We build community around the table. Dr. Luke actually tells us how to do that in Acts 2:42-44. And he says this, they joined with other believers and devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to fellowshipping, to sharing in the Lord's Supper, and in prayer. A deep sense of awe came over all of them, and the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders. All the believers met together constantly and shared everything they had. Now, I just want to go to the last verse there where Dr. Luke says they shared everything, that common life. They met together constantly. And the Greek word there is chabas. Okay, and what it means is they shared absolutely everything. They shared their their food, their time, their emotions. They hung out together, they prayed together, they broke bread together, they listened to the apostles' teachings together, they did life together, they had a life in common. The Lord calls us to this common life and to this community. He calls us to cultivate common life. And it doesn't come through convenience. It doesn't come through speed. It doesn't come through electronic connections. It comes through what Scripture calls koinonia. It's a Greek word which means common life or shared life, life in common. So let me encourage you, why not hang out with someone today and begin to cultivate life in common? And you know what? Find a church that does the same. That is the place of community. That is the place where we begin to grow as humans and we can be cared for spiritually, emotionally, physically, and begin to care for others in the same way. That is how we find that sense of community and move out of isolationism and into common life. So God bless you. Find someone to hang out with today.